Over the past couple months on my channel, I've really discovered that a lot of you love to look a little bit ghostly. It started with my Oneiric video at the end of last year and a couple videos since. And yeah, I've just found a lot of you like to look a little bit haunted. So today what I want to do is share with you all of my favorite makeup products for creating those softly gothic looks, those Oneiric essence looks, because there are some key things you want to look for in your products, especially in the types of colors you're looking for. So these are the ones I've found have worked best for me for these types of looks. Right now, my look isn't particularly softly gothic because I'm coming off another video, but there's some things I kind of borrow from the soft gothic looks, even when I'm doing other kinds of looks, like ways to contour, ways to honor dark circles, and lean into a little bit of a vampy lip, but not going fully vampy. In fact, this is how I've discovered I like to wear my more vampy styles, more just soften them up. Today's gonna be a fun one, just going through all these products and what you wanna look for, and I hope that this steers you in the right direction if you've been a little bit lost. And I also have some very exciting news to share about Rituel de Fille, because there's some products that have been limited edition that I've used in my soft gothic looks that are coming back. I don't know if they're coming back for a limited time, but I'm going to tell you all about it as well. So let's get into it. So I'm going to launch just straight into the complexion products because that's part of the big news. Let us start with a Rituel de Fille blush that has been a favorite of mine that's part of their permanent collection, which is the shade Lovesick. This is a great example of what suits a softly gothic look. It's looking for that dried rose petal shades, things that look a little bit muddied, dusty almost, and just resembles the way flowers dry. They're not vivid anymore. They're more subdued and almost like that little hint of, I don't know how else to say this, but rotten decay to it. So something a little muddy versus in my Painterly products, I talked about that muted quality. Like rather than a vivid shade, something slightly muted, like more natural. This is more like muddied decay. And Lovesick is a great example of this type of shade. You know what else is a great example of this type of shade? Moth. We all know how much I've loved Moth. I had to stop myself using it because I was putting it in every look. I loved how this shade mixes with other shades when you want to mute down a color. And this was limited edition from Rituel de Fille, but they are having a vault sale where they're bringing back some of their top limited edition shades, and this one is coming back. So I will link that down below. I'm not sure how long it's lasting, but run, don't walk if you've wanted this, because I just love the shade. It's their Color Nectar Pigment Balm. So this is handy too for using on the lips too. It's like slightly dewy. And I find with the soft gothic looks, you can kind of play with matteness, dewiness. Like it's more about these colors, the decayed colors. Now, also coming back in their Vault sale and very new to me, and which I'm wearing right now, just a little bit on the cheeks, is Weeping Cherry. This is like whew, you could tell in this it can go quite dark. So it's like a very dark, dried rose petal. And this is also coming back. I'm excited because I'm just excited for you guys to pick up these shades that you've wanted for a while. And also look, they've updated their packaging. This is the new one, and I quite like the snake details on it. Oh, you're just seeing my ring light there. I have a lot of Rituel de Fille shades, not gonna lie, for this video because they are just the queens of the soft gothic look. There's something very otherworldly and underworldly about their makeup products. They're really just so good at creating these unique shades that you don't find in a lot of brands. So along with the blush shades, I want to mention some contour shades. They recently expanded their contour shades. This is the shade Intuition. I believe this was quite a cult classic for people who actually have like very cool skin and wanted an actually cool contour. Like it's quite gray. I know for cool tone folks, it can be difficult to get something that doesn't have a little bit of warmth to it, but this was a very popular product of theirs. They've expanded. They also had sent me this shade, which I think is the next step down. It's got more of a, I don't know how to describe it, but like a bit of a rosierness to it, you know? But check those out for contours that are actually cool toned. I have had some success as well with a cool tone contour, this Sephora brand one. I found this to be quite cool. Personally, I find when I'm using cool products on my complexion, I have to be a little mindful of not overdoing it. Versus I found bronzer, I can kind of get it all over, but I'm not cool toned, even though people often think that all fair folks are cool toned. No. If I go too cool, it's going to look dirty. Although that to be said, I feel like you can kind of lean into that with the Oneiric look. It's all about looking a little bit strange in a way. So, you know what? If you're warm toned, just go for it. It's going to look even more kind of peculiar and lean into the vibe. So kind of in that same energy as this Kaleidos blush in Hot Shot. I've had this for a while, but didn't use it for a while because I was like, what do I do with this? This is actually a great example of a warm tone but contoury shade that you could use. I use this in my like Oneiric meets natural essence look, kind of like Goth Girl Summer, where you use a very light shade, and depending on your skin tone, you kind of like opt for what that was. It's just kind of like a barely there shade that's a bit bronzy but a bit dusty. And yeah, I found this worked out perfectly, and I'm going to be definitely integrating it into some more of my looks. I will say, like, even the Charlotte Tilbury one in the Pillow Talk Intense, look at that shade. Very much the wilted rose, and I like that you can go like this and then get a little bit of highlight from that inner shade. Very pretty color. Exothermic, the shade from Phytosurgeons. I was like lusting after this for a while, and I don't regret it. I love this one for these types of looks. You can see exactly what I mean in the type of pigment it is. It can go pretty deep, but it can also really sheer out so softly. And I gotta mention, I don't have this, but Phytosurgeons came out with a gray blush. Same type of formula, same packaging, but that is such a great thing to have in your collection for like muting up any kind of blush shade. In fact, in general, if you have kind of classic pinks, you can just mix contour in it and muddy it up. So just like sometimes see what you can do with what you have before you buy stuff. But it's kind of handy that they created like a formula specific for their cream blushes, but a gray. And maybe you want to wear a gray blush. I don't know. Might look pretty cool. Highlighter wise, I don't necessarily think highlighters are super softly gothic or Oneiric, but that being said, I think you could definitely play with them for sure. I mean, there's no rules, is there? So you can do whatever you want. But like that more modern, rare beauty style ultra highlight is just a little bit different than this kind of Victorian ghost energy. But these ones from Rituel de Fille, I have Ice Bow, which is like a silver, but like muted. This one, Aurora, I forgot to check if this is part of their permanent collection, but it's like more of a pinky. It in itself has a mutedness to it as well, a muddiness. Moving on to eyeshadow palettes. I mentioned this one, Natasha Denona, I Need a Nude, in my ethereal makeup faves, I think it was. But I think it can also double as an Oneiric type of look. So you can actually really beautifully straddle that line between something ethereal and something softly gothic with this palette. It's these kinds of tones I'm looking for. Doop doop, even that dark one, this, but these almost even muddy shimmers like this could go nicely. So I think this is a great one for these types of looks as well. The Sigma New Mod palette. I mean, I don't really have to say it too much, but like these shades, doop, doop, a little bit rosy. I did a really pretty look with this one that was a dark Aphrodite, which I still look back on this look and something about it just hit right for me. It was like that perfect balance of gothic, but romantic too, you know, and it all kind of depends on your personal tastes and what you like, that you can lean a little bit more into the pink side, more into the gray side, or even more into the taupey, slightly warm side. But this would be great if you like a little bit of romance to it. Speaking of romance, I have the Danessa Myricks Blooming Romance palette, and this bottom row especially, like this is some really interesting formulas. They're kind of, there's putties and there's powders, and the putties in particular can really blend out in that soft gothic way. What you want from your soft gothic looks is not that intensity of a vampy look. Like it's less about, you know, really vampy lips and a dark liner and more about that smudginess. So even looking for formulas that blend really well, this would be a great example of that. And even this shade and this shade, they're a little bit muddier than they are bright and vibrant. I forgot to mention this one of my painterly looks, but I would say that this is in that kind of direction as well. I haven't yet used this palette. It's brand new. When I opened it, I feel like this is more for those people who like a soft gothic look, but a little bit 90s. This is from Cosmic Brushes. It's a new palette. And when I looked at it, I just like transported to kind of 90s cool tones, but also like, yeah, these taupey shades, these not quite blacks, great for that smudgy look. And the shimmers as well, just, I don't know, there's something about this palette that's really calling my name for this kind of vibe. And yeah, even a little bit of pinks, like these can go to like smudge out the eyeshadow look. And actually a great way to create this look is, how the more colors you mix together, the more it'll go brown. Like the more you kind of mix different shades, the more it's going to lean into that brown look. And kind of darker pinks and reds can be great to mix in with taupes, because then it starts to look like a bruise. It sounds so strange that I'm saying like your makeup to look like a bruise, like rotting and decay, but guys, honestly, a lot of you, that's your vibe. So I'm here for it. And yeah, it's such an effect, isn't it? It's very Corpse Bride. It's very Victorian feeling, and it's very impactful. All right, moving on. I think I had to mention the Stone Cold Fox palette from ColourPop, because this is just such a versatile palette in terms of its cool rosy shades and just cool tones in general. I've used this palette time and time and again. It's very versatile. If you are someone who also loves a smoky eye, you could also get this out of this palette. And yeah, it's just a great one to have in one's makeup arsenal if you are a makeup addict like me. It's nice to have those like more affordable palettes that kind of offer a lot from a single palette, Also, the Huda Wild Jaguar palette would work really nicely. I'm pretty sure I've used this for Oneiric looks. Like this is like a purpley shade, but very muddied. And you could really mix tones together to, again, create that more muddiness. And those shimmers that are a little darker, a little muddier. And also from Rituel de Fille, I have one of their black orb liners, and this is in the shade Iron. It's like a dark red, very smudgy. You can do a precise liner with this with like a brush or totally smudge it out. And this is very like vampire-esque. You could really blend it in under the eye. Gorgeous shade. Again, Rituel de Fille just coming in hot with all these types of products. Let's move on to lips. One lip shade that really got me into these kinds of looks actually is from Kaleidos, and it's the shade Last Smoke. It's like a muted purpley gray, and I love that it's a gloss because for me, sometimes I feel a little bit weighed down by some of these types of shades, but when I add like a little bit of gloss, like that lifts it up for me. So that's that perfect balance for me for this kind of look to make it feel very wearable too. In a similar energy as like this TYS Beauty lip gloss in Toast. It looks quite dark in the bottle, but like when you put it on, it's just a really nice way to like slightly darken up anything you might be wearing, and it's got a little bit of sparkle in it. I've just really turned to this for kind of a final step in a lot of products. In fact, I switched up my lip just a touch for this video from my last one, and I kind of blotted down the vampy lip and put a little bit of that on it, and it just adds, I don't know, a little je ne sais quoi to the look. For more very vampy, like lip stains, slightly vampiric, the Sushi Glow ones, I have Lovesick and Lilith. And actually, I think they are relaunching with some new packaging. Very curious to see what that looks like, because you kind of have to be very careful not to spill this everywhere. Highly pigmented, but you can sheer it out, put a little bit of gloss on top, and these are intense. These are meant to kind of sink into your lines to look kind of raw and bloody. That's what she calls it, like the bloody cracked lip effect. You gotta have a cool tone liner in your arsenal for a soft goth look. This is from Unearthly. It's the shade Cursed. You guys have seen me use this time and time and again. You can make any kind of, softly pink, a little bit muted color, like extra softly gothic with a gray taupey lip liner. Like I did it with my Hauntingly Beautiful look. I had this lip stain that was pretty much a soft rose, and I just muddied it up with a cool tone liner. So check out Unearthly Cursed. Very affordable too. A lot of these are indie brands too, so always recommend. Also from Sushi Glow is this gloss. So similar to that gloss I mentioned earlier, in that this is like a black with sparkles. Just again, perfect. A little swipe of something that has like a sheer darkness to it from Rituel de Fille Black Locust. This is like a gray lipstick, but it's slightly sheer. You can build it up. You can add just like a touch of it to the lip. Again, you can use this like a contour shade and muddy up any kind of lip shade. So this is a great one on its own. This is also a great mixing medium type of shade. And then I also have Cryptic, that dried rose type of shade. And also coming back in the Vault collection and new to me is Lilium. And I think this is also a great option. And I'm looking around and I think that that's it. That's it for the makeup products I've chosen to feature in this video. Obviously lots of Rituel de Fille, but I told you why, because they are the queens of this type of makeup look and aesthetic. And yes, I hope this helped you and guided you in some kind of direction. Just think mud, just think decay, just think dried flowers, and you're good to go. I'll definitely link everything in the description box down below, as well as any discount codes I may have. I definitely have one with Rituel de Fille and Cosmic Brushes. I think I have one. Sometimes I forget, but Cosmic Brushes and Rituel de Fille, so you can get 10% off. I'll drop that down below. And always shop mindfully. Think about it. Unless you've been thinking about Moth for a long time and wondering when it would come back, it's back. Go, run, don't walk. All right, friends, thanks so much for watching till the end. That's it for today. Toasty, let's take it away. As always, thank you so much for sticking it out for the Toasty cameo. He thanks you for it. And if you want to check out some bonus content of mine, check out the Patreon link down below, and it's a great way to further support the channel. And liking, commenting, subscribing, I really appreciate it. I love all your comments. Let me know some of your favorite products, and if you have any of these, if you like them as well. And until next time, may you all find yourselves a little bit of makeup magic, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye, witches.